made me crawl on the bus. Wolves laughed. Someone filmed it. Then a hooded boy stood up. His eyes flashed a bright green that wasn't human. Derek threatened him. A blink later, Derek hit the window hard enough to shut everyone up. And that's when I realized something worse than humiliation. I'd been noticed. Chapter 1. The bus ride. The bus door screeched open like a dare. The sound cut through the West Texas afternoon, sharp enough to make me flinch. Heat shimmered off the asphalt outside, turning the air into a wavering sheet of glass. Above it all, the sky was a brutal, endless blue, too big to hide under. I gripped my backpack strap and climbed aboard, pulse hammering in my throat. This was supposed to be my chance at freedom. My father had defied our alpha to send me here, hoping the school for shifters would take me in, teach me to use the visions I'd inherited from my mother. A gift, he'd called it. A curse, the pack had decided. Either way, I was out, and my father would bleed for it. The steps clanged under my boots, metal on metal, loud in the cramped doorway. The bus swallowed me whole. Heat and diesel wrapped around me, sharp as a brand. Hot rubber, old vinyl, sweat trapped in fabric seats that had baked under the sun. The air tasted like pennies and exhaust, like the inside of a tin can left on a windowsill. Wolves filled the front rows, sprawled across the seats, voices loud with easy belonging. Their laughter bounced off the windows and rattled in my teeth. Their heads turned as I passed, not curious, assessing, like the flat horizon outside. Their attention had nowhere to go, but straight through me. I gripped my bag tighter and made myself a promise. Just survive this ride. No fights, no mistakes, no humiliation. If I could get through one bus ride without shame burning me hollow, maybe the school would be a new beginning. The bus idled with a low, steady growl, as if it was impatient to get moving, impatient to leave me behind. That hope cracked when a shadow fell across me. A wolf girl with perfect hair leaned in from the aisle. A half-moon crest was stitched bold across her jacket, bright against the sun-faded fabric. Her lips curled like she'd tasted something sour.
Omega,
She said it like filth.
you don't belong here, she added. Get on your hands and knees. Crawl to the back of the bus.
Her hand clamped onto my shoulder. Nails dug in through my shirt, pinning muscle and bone like she meant to leave a mark. She shoved. My knees hit the sticky floor. My palm slapped down into something tacky, warm with old soda and grit. The floor radiated heat up through my jeans. The bus, holding onto the sun like it didn't know how to let go. Laughter erupted around me. It hit harder than the shove, loud and bright and careless, like a flock of birds taking off. She pushed harder, trying to grind me lower, onto all fours. Inside me, my wolf whimpered, tail tucked, ears flat. Not here, not again. I tried to rise, teeth clenched, breath scraping in my throat. And then I was surprised. The weight lifted, not gently, ripped away by something older, heavier. The air changed. My wolf froze me where I knelt, like I'd stepped under a hunting bird's wings, and the only question left was whether I was prey or protected property.
You're in my way.
The words slid over me like steel drawn from a sheath, bored but edged with danger. For a heartbeat, even the bus felt quieter, like the engine swallowed its own growl. A figure stood above us, tall and broad-shouldered, hood shadowing his face. Sunlight slanted through the windows and couldn't quite find him, like the world refused to claim whatever he was. His hand closed around the half-moon girl's wrist. Not a grab, a lock. His grip crushed down until her bravado buckled. Bone met pressure, tendons pulled tight. She sucked in a sharp breath and finally made a sound that wasn't laughter. I hadn't realized there'd been someone else waiting for the bus with me. Then his scent hit me. Sandalwood and cedar, sharp as fresh-cut wood. Beneath it, something older and darker, winter air spilling from a cave that had never seen the sun. It prickled over my skin and burrowed under it, the way heat does when you step outside at noon and it sinks straight into your bones. A half-forgotten dream surfaced in me, dark, hungry. It left me shaken, wanting. My wolf lifted her head unbidden, caught between warning and pull. She didn't whimper this time. She listened. My body betrayed me. A spark leapt low in my stomach, hot and sudden, as shameful as it was real.
"Now you'll sit,"
he said. Not loud, not snarled, just final. The half-moon girl yanked her arm back, outrage flashing in her eyes like a match struck in dry grass.
Help me, Derek,
she called. Derek rose at once. He stepped into the aisle like he owned it, like the bus was just another territory line he could redraw with his presence. The space felt smaller around him, his sneer and alpha aura pressing down like a storm front, rolling over the flats.
"Touch what's mine again,
Derek snarled, voice thick with venom.
and I'll break you."
The hooded boy didn't answer. He didn't posture. He just lifted his gaze, and for a single heartbeat, his eyes burned bright green beneath the hood. Derek's threat landed, and whatever lived behind that stare accepted it, welcomed it even. Then motion, a blur, too fast for my eyes to track. Derek slammed against the window. Crack. The sound snapped through the bus frame and into my ribs, while something wet splattered against my face. The glass rattled. Dust shivered loose from the rubber seams. Somewhere, someone's phone slipped from their hand and clacked against the floor. Gasps cut off the laughter. No growl, no dominance display, just raw, effortless power. The hooded boy released him, as if Derek weighed nothing. Derek sagged into his seat, pale and silent, eyes blazing with promised vengeance, and his nose gushing blood. Derek's stormfront didn't break. It just vanished, burned off by the heat that lived under that hood. And the silence after wasn't calm. It was charged, dry lightning over sun-baked dirt, looking for a reason. The hooded boy turned without a word and moved down the aisle. Wolves shrank from his path, heads ducked, shoulders hunched, knees drew in like the aisle had suddenly become sacred ground. The bus settled into a strained kind of quiet. Vinyl creaked, diesel rumbled. No one laughed anymore. I should have looked away. I didn't. I couldn't. His scent, mixed with the hot iron of Derek's blood, lingered in the aisle like a hand at the back of my neck. Sandalwood and cedar, clean cut and sharp, but under it, that winter dark note that didn't belong on a school bus in West Texas. It slid into my lungs and stayed there, intoxicating, like my body wanted to memorize it. And when I replayed the moment in my head, it wasn't Derek hitting the window that stuck. It was the eyes, that bright green flash under the hood. Not human green, not anything alive that belonged in daylight. It looked wrong for a heartbeat, like something ancient noticing me from behind glass. Why me? The question hammered in my skull, louder than the engine. People like him didn't step in for omegas unless they wanted something. And the worst part was the way I reacted anyway. Heat pooling low, soft and traitorous, as if danger and desire spoke the same language. I was finally able to get a better look at my rescuer. Tall, broad-shouldered, hood shadowing most of his face. But it wasn't the height that did it. It was the presence. The way the air seemed to reorganize around him, like everything in the bus had decided to make room. My skin prickled. My wolf pressed back inside me, ears pinned, not from fear exactly, from recognition. And my heart leapt anyway. I stayed frozen, heart hammering, my wolf trembling between humiliation and desire. By protecting me, he hadn't just bruised Derek's pride. He'd made me a target, someone Derek would remember. I let myself hope, for one stupid second, that Derek's revenge had a new target now, the hooded boy. But hope was a lie I'd learned young. Derek's hatred wouldn't stop at him. It would spread like heat across asphalt, looking for the weakest place to buckle. And that was me. And if the hooded boy had stepped in for me once, he could do it again. But next time, he might not be there to save me. Would I survive then? I moved in the hooded boy's wake, looking for a spot among the wolves. Bag after bag landed on empty seats, with deliberate thuds, bodies sprawled wide, elbows out, knees angled like fences. A girl made eye contact with me and smiled as she slid her backpack into the space beside her. Not even subtle, just a door shutting. By the time I reached the middle rows, my skin buzzed with rejection. Same story as my pack, same ending, rejection. I slid into the first open seat by the window and pressed my palm to the hot glass. It was so warm, it felt alive. Outside, West Texas stretched wide and merciless. Flat land unrolling to a horizon that never came closer. Heat shimmered above the road in pale waves. The sky was a hard, endless blue, bright enough to feel sharp, like a furnace lid clamped over the world. My heart pounded against my ribs, a caged thing trapped in my own skin. At the very back, the hooded boy dropped into the corner seat as if nothing had happened, as if Derek hadn't hit a window like a warning. He pulled a battered book from his bag. The cover was worn soft at the edges. The spine had been broken and rebroken, loved hard. The Latin title caught in the flicker of light, De Occulta Philosophia. He opened it and disappeared into the pages, utterly absorbed, like the bus wasn't holding its breath around him. For one small moment, I let myself smile. I had done it. I had survived, without being humiliated too much. This was my chance at freedom. It had to be, even if it didn't feel like it yet. The bus lurched back onto the road, rattling my seat. The tires hummed over sun-baked asphalt, a steady vibration that climbed up through the frame and into my bones. Heat poured through the windows in sheets, turning the air inside into something you had to push through just to breathe. Outside, the land stayed flat and open, fields and scrub rolling out toward a horizon that never moved. The sky was a hard, endless blue, bright enough to feel sharp, like it could cut you if you looked too long. I stared at the passing emptiness, pretending not to feel the empty space beside me. It wasn't just an empty seat. It was a spotlight. No one wanted to sit with an Omega. No one ever did, until someone did. What felt like hours later, a boy shuffled down the aisle. His backpack was patched with strange, curling symbols, stitched like someone had tried to trap a secret in thread. Heads turned, bodies stiffened. Even the wolves drew back, like his shadow stung. It wasn't loud, it was instinctive, like everyone could smell what he was before he even spoke. He stopped at my row.
Mind if I sit here?
His voice was flat, almost brittle, like it might snap if you put too much feeling into it. He slid in before I could answer, pressing himself against the edge of the seat like he wanted to disappear into the seam. Then the scent hit me, sweet like honey, sharp like frost, fey, but not the warm, sunlit kind from bedtime stories. This was the kind of fey scent that made you think of winter shade and sharp promises. Beautiful, yes, but in a way that warned you not to touch. He kept his shoulders hunched, eyes fixed on the floor. 2 rows up, the wolves snickered like he'd just confirmed whatever they already thought of him.
You don't want me sitting here.
He muttered. Why not? I asked. He hesitated, jaw tight, like the words scraped on the way out.
Because I'm unseelie.
The word landed heavy. Unseelie. I'd heard it whispered in pack warnings, the way wolves talk about things that don't belong in the woods. Seelie were the safe fae, the kind that smiled pretty and kept their knives mostly hidden. Court fae, light-touched, the ones packs tolerated when treaties demanded it. Unseelie were the other half, the ones tied to night and thorn and winter bargains, the ones who didn't care if you called them monsters, because monsters still got things done. Not evil in the childish sense, just not made for mercy. That explained the way the wolves had recoiled, the careful distance, the way their bodies leaned away from him like he carried cold in his bones. Still, he glanced at me like he expected me to flinch too, to slide away, to give him the full seat and keep my skin safe. I didn't move. Then don't lead with that next time, I said, his brow furrowed, genuinely confused, like the concept of not handing someone the knife hadn't occurred to him.
I can't help it.
He muttered.
They always know.
Not always, I said, keeping my voice low. And even if they guess, you don't have to confirm it. He looked down again, shame and stubbornness twisted together in his mouth. You don't owe anyone the truth, I told him. Sometimes, the only way omegas survive is knowing when to keep quiet, when to hide, when to make people underestimate us. A shadow flickered across his face. Suspicion, maybe, or hope, trying not to show itself.
But
He swallowed.
I can't.
Then practice with me, I cut in. Start small. Don't give me everything at once. He finally looked at me, really looked, like the thought had never occurred to him.
You're
His voice hitched, almost offended by the softness.
helping me?
I shrugged, forcing a grin I didn't feel. Why not? Outcasts have to stick together. Something shifted in his expression, like a wall cracking just enough to let a little light through. Cybele, I said, holding out my hand, a beat. Then his grip was cool, careful, like he was afraid of breaking rules he didn't understand.
Corin.
A silence stretched between us, not comfortable, not hostile, just real. And for the first time since I'd climbed aboard, with West Texas stretching endless outside and the pack inside pretending I didn't exist, I didn't feel completely alone. The bus jolted hard, brakes squealed, metal on metal, and the whole frame shuddered like it wanted to shake us loose. My teeth clicked together. Heat rushed forward as we slowed, and outside, dust kicked up in the hot wind, rolling across the road in pale sheets. For a moment, the world beyond the windows was nothing but glare, flat land, and drifting grit. Then the door hissed open. Hot air spilled in, carrying the sharp smell of sun-baked dirt and dry grass. Dust swirled into the aisle and settled on everything like it had a claim. A tall girl climbed aboard, like she owned the road, broad-shouldered, dark-skinned, braids swinging down her back with each step. A jacket clung to her frame, despite the heat, as if the sun didn't get to tell her what to do. On her sleeve, a patch stitched with an ivory tusk. The wolves in the front rows went real quiet when she passed. Not respectful quiet, uncertain quiet. The kind you get when people aren't sure if they should laugh or move. She gave them neither. She didn't even look at them long enough to grant permission. Her eyes flicked toward me and Corin, huddled mid-row.
Aww.
She drawled, voice carrying over the drone of the engine.
Look at the little strays sticking together. That's almost cute.
My cheeks went hot. Corin stiffened beside me, shoulders drawing tighter, like he could make himself smaller by force. She smirked.
Relax. If I wanted to crush you, I'd have done it already.
Then she dropped into the seat across from us and stretched her long legs into the aisle, claiming space like a boundary line. I swallowed, trying for brave. You're not a werewolf? She barked out a laugh, rich and unbothered.
Do I smell like a flea-bitten mutt to you? No, sweetheart. I'm from House Ganesha, 2nd year.
She tapped the tusk emblem on her sleeve.
Wear a rhino.
The word thudded heavy in the air. Wear a rhino. I'd never even heard of one. My mind tried to build the shape and failed. My wolf shifted uneasily, like the very idea had weight. Corin found his voice first, wary.
House Ganesha?
He asked.
What's that supposed to mean?
Her grin widened.
Oh, sweetlings. Lucky for you, I have a soft spot for first years. You're fresh out of high school. You really don't know a damn thing, do you?
We both shook our heads.
Well,
She said, leaning back like she was settling in to tell a story.
lucky for you, I'm bored. And I'm a softie.
She said it like a joke, but her eyes stayed sharp.
The school for shifters is a college.
She went on.
It's for the different types of shifters to learn to master what they are.
She held up a hand,
There are 4 houses:
counting a finger for each house.
Fenris, Ganesha, Mythos, and Silvara.
The names landed like stones in a shallow pond. Quiet ripples, hidden depth,
If you've got fangs and pack instincts,
she said, nodding toward the wolves up front.
House Fenris will eat you alive. But if you're built like me,
She added, tapping her tusk patch again.
you get the strength of the ancients in House Ganesha.
Her gaze flicked between me and Corin as she spoke, measuring.
And if you're born of stories,
She said, voice sharpening with interest.
dragons, unicorns, phoenixes, Mythos will claim you.
Then her eyes settled on Corin, just long enough to make him go still.
And if you've got tricksy blood,
She said,
Fae or otherwise, House Silvara will chew you up and spit you out.
She let that hang a beat, like she wanted us to taste it. Then her gaze sharpened, pinning us both.
One way or another,
She said,
the stones will tell you where you belong. And trust me,
she added, almost casual.
once you've got a house, you better learn the rules fast, or you won't last long enough to enjoy your cute little outcast club.
Her words hit like weight in my gut. The stones will tell you where you belong. My wolf stirred uneasily. The old fear crawled up my spine like sweat. What if they told me I didn't belong anywhere? What if even magic spat me out the way the pack had? I forced a laugh that didn't sound right in my own ears. So that's it? I asked. Rocks decide who we are? Jada smirked, eyes glinting.
Not just rocks, baby girl. The stones are older than your alpha,
She said.
older than any Fae court, and they don't make mistakes.
Corin shifted beside me, hands knotting tighter in his lap.
And what if you don't like where they put you?
He asked. Jada's grin widened, all tusk and teeth.
Then you learn to like it, or you get crushed. Simple as that.
Silence stretched. The engine's growl filled the space, like an animal breathing. Outside, dust slid past the windows in slow sheets, and the sky stayed hard and blue, watching us like it had all the time in the world. I glanced at Corin, catching the tension in his jaw, the way he stared out the window, like he could already see prison bars forming in the glare. Outside, the land slid past in sun-bleached strips, flat, open, nowhere to run. The sky was so blue, it felt like pressure. Without thinking, I nudged his arm with my elbow. Hey, we'll figure it out. He blinked at me, startled.
You don't even know me.
Neither does anyone else, I said. That's the point. We get to decide what they learn. His lips parted like he wanted to argue, then shut again. The smallest flicker of relief crossed his face, quick as shade from a passing cloud that didn't exist. From across the aisle, Jada snorted.
Cute.
She said.
You two might actually last a week if you keep that up.
My cheeks burned, but I didn't look away from Corin. For a second, I almost believed what I'd just told him. Jada leaned back, arms folded, that smirk never leaving her face.
You two are green as spring grass.
She said.
You'll get eaten alive if someone doesn't teach you the rules.
Her gaze swept me like a blade.
Omega here won't last a day in Fenris.
Then she flicked her eyes to Corin.
And you?
She added.
You've got that lost puppy look that screams target for whatever house picks you.
Corin's jaw tightened, but I laid a hand on his arm before he snapped. What are you saying? I asked. I'm saying, Jada replied.
I'll keep you alive long enough to learn the ropes.
Her grin sharpened.
But nothing's free. So when I ask for a favor,
She said, voice sweet with teeth.
you give it, whatever I need to climb.
She lifted her brows like she was making a joke.
Jada, by the way.
But the air between us went heavy and waiting, like the second before thunder decides. Corin tilted his head, eyes narrowing.
So, a deal?
He asked.
You protect us when we call, and we help you climb the ladder, Jada.
Jada snorted.
Sure, kid, a deal. I'll help you if you help me.
But Corin didn't smile. He leaned forward, slow and careful, and held out his hand. Jada blinked, confused. Then instinct took over. She clasped his hand, firm and certain, like sealing a handshake was nothing. The moment their palms met, the air cracked, sharp as static before a storm. The lights above us flickered once. My ears popped like we'd changed altitude. The air tasted like pennies, and every hair on my arms rose. Even the wolves went still. Corin's voice dropped into a rhythm that made something old inside my bones listen.
Shake on it. Let it stand. What's been spoken, sealed by hand. Favor owed and promise true. Bound in word. From me to you.
The words didn't just echo. They throbbed, like the bus itself had become a drum, and something unseen had answered. Jada's smirk collapsed.
What the hell?
You gave me your name.
Corin said softly, almost apologetic.
And offered a pact. Now it holds.
Jada yanked her hand back, as if it had burned her, eyes wide.
Gods damn it.
She hissed.
I hate my trusting nature.
She glared at both of us.
Accidentally bound by a first-year fae. Just my luck.
Corin shrank a little under her fury, shoulders drawing in, but I caught it, a flicker of triumph in his eyes. Small, sharp, like he'd finally found one thing he could control. My heart hammered. So it's real? I asked. You'll help us, Jada? She groaned, but the edge slipped out of her shoulders.
Yeah.
She muttered.
I'll look out for you, brats. But don't forget, you owe me. When I call it in, you deliver.
She leaned forward, voice turning serious.
Do either of you know the penalty for breaking a geas?
We both shook our heads.
Good.
Jada said.
Let's not find out.
Then she pointed at Corin, eyes narrowing.
And you,
She added.
try that again, and I'll turn you into paste.
Corin ducked his head. A tiny smile ghosted his mouth, like he couldn't help it. For the first time since I'd stepped on the bus, I didn't just feel like an outcast. I felt like part of something dangerous, fragile, real. But my thoughts betrayed me and drifted back to the hooded boy. He sat in the far rear, like the bus had arranged itself around him, hood up, book open. The green of his eyes still burned into my memory, like after image from staring at the sun. I must have been staring because Jada coughed, uncomfortable, and nodded toward him.
That boy's trouble.
She muttered.
If I've ever seen it.
My pulse thundered. Heat coiled low in my stomach, slow and wicked, the same way the West Texas air holds heat long after the sun should have let it go. The bus felt too small, the windows too bright, the space between my ribs too tight. Trouble had always found me. I'd spent my whole life trying to survive it, outrun it, keep my head down and my teeth in. But staring at him, my wolf shivering inside my chest, I knew the truth. For the first time, I didn't just fear trouble. I wanted it close, wanted it on my skin, wanted it inside me. Hey all, this is Cybele. I made it through the first ride, barely. If you want to keep going with me, like this video, subscribe, and head into episode 2. It's already out. Because after what happened on that bus, I need to know what he is.